The Senate will now be in session. All rise for the arrival of the Honorable Senate President and the Senators of the Republic of the Philippines.
Senators crossed party lines this week to condemn the sinister and underhanded attempts to change the Constitution. In a show of force, the 24 senators led by Senate President Juan Miguel Mix F. Zubiri signed a strongly worded manifesto opposing attempts to undermine the country's democratic processes under the guise of a people's initiative.
It is ridiculous that the Senate, as a co-equal chamber of the House, which is needed to pass even local bills, will have a dispensable and diluted role in charter change. The most monumental act of policymaking concerning the highest law of the land.
Instead of focusing on amending the 1987 Constitution, Zubiri wanted the Senate to focus on economic-related legislation that would help uplift the lives of more Filipinos.
I think we should concentrate on moving forward with the economic agenda for the upliftment of poverty of each and every Filipino that's living in abject poverty.
Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva stressed that the Senate was created to represent and serve the Filipinos and the entire country. For Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel III, the so-called People's Initiative proposed could affect other sections of the 1987 Constitution, particularly the concept of a bicameral Congress. Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada questioned the timing of the House of Representatives-backed People's Initiative. In his privileged speech, opposed efforts to railroad amendments to the 1987 Constitution under the guise of a People's Initiative. Senator Pia Cayetano emphasized the important role of the Senate in legislating proposed bills and resolutions.
Ganito tayo sa Senate, sinatsagaan natin bawat period, bawat kama, bawat paragraph. Sinatsagaan natin yun, Mr. President. Sino ba naman sa inyo ang aayaw sa isang kahit sinong politiko na mangangako ng bilyon-bilyon para sa kapakanan ng isang manggagawa, para sa kapakanan ng mangingisda? Walang masama doon na naglalaan ng pondo para dyan. Pero eto ngayon ang trabaho natin na alamin paano mo ilalagay, saan mo ilalagay, sino ang tatanggap, di ba? Trabaho natin yon.
The senators led by Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva urged the Filipino people to help safeguard the Constitution in the face of the ongoing People's Initiative. Villanueva, together with Senators Amy Marcos, Pia Cayetano, and Grace Poe, made the call during the Jesus is Lord Worldwide Prayer and Vision Casting in Norzagaray, Bulacan.
Kaya po kami naririto, humihingi po kami ng tulong sa panalangin. Humihingi po kami ng tulong para i-pursue ang righteousness, para i-preach ang truth o ang katotohanan sapagkat ang katotohanan ang magpapalaya sa atin. Hindi po natin dapat kuhanin na lang, i-accept na lang yung nangyayaring kalokohan.
Senator Cayetano called on the people behind the People's Initiative to be truthful about what they really hope to accomplish by amending the Constitution.
Kung tayo mga Kristiyano, the Bible is the soul of our beliefs. As Filipinos, the Constitution is the soul of our legal rights. So we hold it dearly and we fight for the Constitution.
Senator Marcos, on the other hand, prayed for the enlightenment of his brother, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. She said she is looking forward to the Senate inquiry on People's Initiative come January 30. Meanwhile, Senator Poe reminded Filipinos that it is their right to receive government aid and they should not be pressured to sign in exchange for it.
Alam ba ninyo na pag pinagkaisahan ng isang grupo ang pagbalangkas ng konstitusyon, kahit ano pwede nilang ilagay dyan kung walang tututol.
Over 7,000 pastors and leaders from the National Capital Region, Bulacan, Southern and Northern Luzon attended the gathering and more than 6,000 participants from Visayas and Mindanao joined online. Senate President Pro Tempore Loren Legarda called on government officials to work together to free Filipinos from the shackles of poverty during her privileged speech. Senator Robin Padilla called for heavier penalties against law enforcers who mishandle key evidence and violate procedures during investigations. Padilla made this promise during his privileged speech as he called out officers of the Quezon City Police District or QCPD for mishandling evidence regarding the death of veteran actor Ronaldo Valdez last year. Senate President Juan Miguel Mix F. Zubiri welcomed overseas Filipino worker Jimmy Pacheco, who was held hostage by Hamas fighters in Israel for for 49 days. Senate Majority Floor Leader Joel Villanueva urged Filipinos to look back on the lessons of the past and to emulate forefathers in putting the people first over self-interest, as he paid tribute to the framers of the Malolos Constitution in his privileged speech. Senator Win Gatchalian reported the findings of the Second Congressional Commission on Education, or EDCOM-2, in the past 12 months. The EDCOM-2 report highlighted Commission's initial recommendations, including the streamlining of textbook procurement, the decongestion of public teachers' workload, and the prioritization of poorest students in the tertiary education subsidy, among others. Senator Sonny Angara sponsored a resolution commending De La Salle University for its contribution to the Second Congressional Commission on Education, or EDCOM-2. Senator Pia Cayetano made history as the first woman chairperson of the powerful Blue Ribbon Committee following her election. The Committee on Games and Amusement Subcommittee on PS Resolution Number 799, led by Senator Raffy Tulfo, conducted hearings on various games and amusement-related measures. The Committee on Justice and Human Rights, chaired by Senator Francis Tol Tolentino, resumed its hearing on proposals for the establishment of additional courts in the Philippines, including Sharia judicial districts and stations for Sharia district and circuit courts. Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada presided over the fourth hearing of the Committee on Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development on the labor dispute involving workers of the Liberty Transport Corporation. Senator Francis Tol Tolentino presided over the Special Committee on Maritime and Admiralty Zones hearing on various measures seeking to establish the country's archipelagic sea lanes. Senator Risa Hontiveros, chairperson of the Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality, led the investigation on the alleged acts of sexual abuse and human trafficking by Pastor Apollo Kibuloy and other officials from the Kingdom of Jesus Christ. The Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, chaired by Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, probed the so-called Ayuda scam that duped residents in Davao de Oro and Davao del Norte. Senate President Pro Tempore Loren Legarda led the opening of the Piñapol Special Setting Exhibit at the Philippine Senate. The Committee on Ways and Means, chaired by Senator Win Gatchalian, conducted a hearing on the proposed Passive Income and Financial Intermediary Taxation Act, or PIFITA.